I never imagined that a simple phone call could turn my whole world upside down. He had always told me he was an only child, no siblings, no family drama, just him and me. That's why I never thought to ask more questions. But then, one rainy afternoon, I was scrolling through social media when I saw a photo that stopped me dead in my tracks. It was a woman who looked exactly like him, same sharp eyes, same crooked smile, but she wasn't anywhere near here. She was working at a gas station more than 200 miles away. My heart hammered in my chest. Who was she? Why had he lied to me about her? I thought my marriage was built on honesty and trust, but suddenly, everything felt like a lie. The man I loved had a secret, one that could destroy everything we had. And just like that, my perfect world began to crumble. For 5 years, I believed I knew everything about him. Jake and I had what everyone called the perfect marriage. Or at least, that's what I told myself every night before falling asleep. Jake was kind, funny, and thoughtful in ways that made me feel like the luckiest woman alive. He'd leave little notes in my lunchbox, surprise me with flowers on ordinary days, and hold my hand whenever life got tough. We shared dreams, plans for the future, even a little dog we named Max. I'm Sarah, by the way, a freelance graphic designer who works from home, which meant I spent most days in our cozy little apartment downtown. Jake worked long hours at a marketing firm, but he always made time for dinner, for us. That's why none of this felt real, the sudden coldness, the little lies I started catching, the way his phone suddenly became a fortress. We didn't have many friends, just a small circle we trusted. I thought we were inseparable, partners in every sense of the word. But underneath the surface, cracks were forming, and I was too blind, or maybe too scared, to see them. Jake never talked about his family much. He always said he was an only child. That was fine by me. I didn't need a big, complicated family drama. We had enough on our plates. But sometimes, when he'd get a call and step away from the room, I'd catch a glimpse of something in his eyes, a hesitation, a shadow I couldn't place. I convinced myself it was just work stress. Then there was that one weekend we spent driving to his childhood hometown. He grew up in a small town about 200 miles away, and I wanted to meet his parents, hear stories about his childhood. But he brushed off the idea every time, saying it was complicated. That was the first real red flag. Still, I loved him. I told myself love meant trust, even when trust felt fragile. Looking back, I see now that my heart was whispering warnings, but I chose to drown them out with hope. One evening, everything changed. Jake was in the kitchen, making us dinner like he always did on Fridays. The smell of garlic and rosemary filled the apartment, and for a moment, I felt safe, like nothing could touch us. But then, his phone buzzed on the counter. I saw the screen light up with a message preview that stopped me cold. It was a name I didn't recognize. Curiosity won over. I glanced at the screen. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. My heart sank. Who was she? Jake always locked his phone, but this time he was distracted chopping vegetables and didn't notice me staring. I tried to shake it off. Maybe it was just a colleague or an old friend. But that tiny seed of doubt started growing inside me, twisting and turning. That night, I stayed awake, listening to the sounds of the apartment, Jake's soft breathing beside me, the clock ticking loudly in the silence. I wanted to believe there was a simple explanation, but my gut screamed otherwise. The next day, I tried to act normal, but the image of that message haunted me. Then, Something even stranger happened. I was driving back from the grocery store when I saw a gas station sign. I recognized one near Jake's childhood town, about 200 miles away. On impulse, I pulled in, and there she was. A woman behind the counter who looked just like him. Same eyes, same smile, same laugh lines. I blinked, unsure if I was seeing things. Who was she? Why was she there? Why had Jake never told me she existed? I didn't approach her. I just watched from my car, my mind racing with questions I wasn't ready to ask. I felt like I was drowning in secrets that threatened to pull me under completely. That night, I confronted Jake. "Who is she?" I whispered, my voice trembling. He looked at me like I was crazy. "What are you talking about?" But I knew. I just didn't know the whole truth yet. After that night, everything inside me was a whirlwind of doubt and fear. Was I imagining things? Was I twisting innocent moments into something darker? I kept replaying the gas station scene in my mind. That woman, how could someone look so much like Jake and not be connected to him? But when I asked, he acted like I was making it all up. "I don't know what you're talking about, Sarah," he said, voice low and calm. "You're tired. You need to rest." But I wasn't tired. I was terrified. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart jumped. Every smile he gave me felt like a mask. I found myself sneaking glances at his phone when he wasn't looking, hoping to find answers, or maybe just to prove to myself I wasn't crazy. One afternoon, I caught a glimpse of a name Maya in his messages. I didn't know if I wanted to read more or look away forever. "Who is Maya?" I finally asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice cracked. Jake avoided my eyes. "She's just as someone from work." But something in his tone told me it wasn't that simple. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thoughts spinning out of control. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe he's hiding something harmless. But then, the truth whispered, louder than my doubts. What if he's lying? What if everything I believed is built on lies? I wanted to confront him, to demand the truth, but I was scared. Scared of what I might discover. I imagined the worst. Another woman, a secret family, a life he kept hidden from me. And yet, part of me clung to hope. Maybe if I just give him time, he'll tell me everything, I told myself. But every day that passed without answers made me feel smaller, more alone. At work, I found it harder to focus. My designs felt flat. My creativity was clouded by anxiety. Max, our little dog, seemed to sense my sadness. He'd curl up beside me, resting his head on my lap, as if trying to comfort me. One night, I caught myself talking to him out loud. "Do you think he's hiding something, Max? Do you think he still loves me?" Max just wagged his tail softly, offering silent support. I was torn between love and suspicion, hope and heartbreak. And deep down, I knew I couldn't keep living like this, not without answers. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to know more. I had to find out the truth, no matter the cost. So, I followed him. Jake left the apartment like any other morning, grabbing his briefcase and kissing me on the forehead. I pretended to be calm as I watched him walk to his car, but inside, my heart pounded like a drum. I stayed a safe distance behind as he drove out of town. My mind raced with possibilities. Was he meeting that woman? Was there another life I didn't know about? After nearly 2 hours on the road, he pulled into a small, rundown house on the edge of town. I hid behind a tree, barely daring to breathe. Then the door opened. Out stepped the woman from the gas station. She smiled at him, warm, familiar, and he smiled back, the kind of smile reserved for someone deeply loved. My world shattered right there. I wanted to scream, to run away, but I was frozen. How could he have kept this from me? For months, he lied. He said he was an only child. But here they were siblings. Twins, maybe. And I was the only one left in the dark. I felt every emotion crashing over me, betrayal, anger, sadness so sharp it felt like knives inside my chest. I wanted answers. I needed answers. That night, I confronted him again, this time with everything I'd seen. His face was drained of color. "I never wanted you to find out like this," he whispered. He told me a story I wasn't prepared for, how he'd left this woman behind years ago, trying to start fresh, hoping to escape a painful past. But the past had a way of catching up. I realized then that love and lies were tangled in ways I couldn't untangle alone. And now I had to decide, could I forgive? Could I trust again? Or was this the beginning of the end? I couldn't hold it in any longer. That night, the apartment felt smaller, suffocating, as if the walls themselves knew my heart was breaking. Jake sat on the couch, pretending everything was normal. But I saw the weight in his eyes, the guilt, the fear. I stood in front of him, trembling, but determined. "Why didn't you tell me the truth?" I demanded, my voice barely more than a whisper, but sharp enough to cut through the silence. He looked up, his eyes meeting mine, and for a moment I saw the man I loved, the man I thought I knew. Then he broke. "I was scared," he confessed. "Scared you'd leave. Scared you'd hate me. But why hide her? Why lie about her?" I pressed, tears streaming down my face. Jake's hands trembled as he reached out for me, but I pulled away. "She's my sister. I left because of our family. It's complicated. I didn't want that life to drag you down." I felt my heart shatter all over again. "Do you love her?" I asked, my voice cracking. "No, it's not like that," he said quickly. "It's just I didn't know how to be honest without losing you." I wanted to believe him. I wanted to reach out and hold him like I used to. But betrayal had built a wall between us, thick and unyielding. Then the doorbell rang. It was her, the woman from the gas station, standing there with eyes full of pain and apology. "She wanted to talk," Jake said, voice barely steady. I stepped back, watching as they spoke in hushed tones. She looked at me, eyes full of guilt, and then said something that broke me completely. "I never meant to come between you two," she whispered. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just about love or betrayal. It was about family, secrets, and choices none of us were ready to face. And I was left standing there, caught between the past and the future, not sure which way to turn. Days passed in a blur. The apartment felt emptier than ever, even with Jake still there. We moved around each other like strangers, haunted by the truths we finally faced but didn't know how to fix. I wanted answers, but most of all, I wanted peace. Jake tried to explain, to rebuild, but every word felt fragile, like it could crumble under the weight of what had been broken. I spent long nights staring at the ceiling, wondering if love was enough to survive betrayal this deep. One morning, I woke up and made a decision. I couldn't keep living in the shadows of secrets. I needed to find myself again outside of this pain, outside of Jake's silence. I packed a bag, kissed Max goodbye, and left a note on the kitchen counter. I need time to heal. Maybe we both do. As I walked away from the apartment, from the lies and the half-truths, I felt a strange mixture of sorrow and relief. Sometimes, the people we love the most are the ones who hurt us the deepest. But sometimes, walking away is the only way to find out who you really are. Weeks later, I heard from a mutual friend that Jake had gone back to his hometown to the woman at the gas station. Was it to fix the past? Or to bury it deeper? I didn't know. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and family was gone, replaced by a new reality I wasn't sure I was ready to face. But one thing was certain: my story wasn't over yet.